Hey guys, welcome back to Surreal Beauty. We're back with another video doing a part 2 to the book Q&A teaser questions. So I have another list of like 4 to 5 questions. I have them down here that I'm going to share with you guys. Questions again that were highly requested by readers and fans of my book, The Birth of Treasure. I have her here. Again, if you don't have your copy, The Birth of Treasure, Navigating the Sex World, it is available on my website. The link is below, www.sbbytiffany. I also have it available on Amazon. If you'd like to get the link and all that, definitely reach out, contact me through my website, email me, all my information is below. But guys, this is definitely a cool book. It gives you the scoop about my experience. I talk about my experience in the adult entertainment world. I share tips, I share experiences, I share transformations, transitions, growth, skill sets that I've acquired, all that good stuff. So guys, definitely get your copy. I'm super excited. So I did a part 1 not too long ago, and now I'm just doing a part 2. So I'm going to circle back around with the birth of treasure, and I'm looking at my questions. So yes, guys, I am doing this little thing where I'm sharing more tips about my books just to encourage you guys to go out there and read it. But also I just think it's cool to just share about insight from the author themselves. So again, if there are any requested thoughts, questions, concerns, or not concerns, but just things that you wanted to maybe find out, definitely leave a comment below. Again, you can contact me through my email. I would love to get back to you guys. Let's get to it. Okay, so I have 5 questions here. So the first question, it's not really a question, but it's more so what do I have here? So it's more so like myths about sex workers, and basically just like the whole attitude about sex workers not really knowing or being smart, maybe having proper etiquette when it comes to let's say their personal life or their professional life. But honestly, it might sound like I'm talking in circles, but I'm trying to like find like a main point. So when it comes to sex work and escorts and people that and women that work in this industry, you have to be a smart businesswoman. So essentially, a lot of these women, not saying every single one of them, but they're probably not the dumbest bulb in the pack. Some of these women that I've met, they're some of the most smartest women that I've honestly come across. They're some of the most cleanest women that I've come across. So some of the myths are like, oh, sex workers must be dirty, or there must be dumb girls who just don't know what else to do to get money, so they just do this. And it's like, that's like far from the truth. Now, again, I'm not saying every single person who gets in the industry is a smart businesswoman, hustler, things like that. You do have your other cases. However, for the most part, there are a lot of women that get into this industry who are very smart, maybe in prestigious positions and careers, industries. However, they may have debt that they need to pay off, school they need to pay off, whatever it is. So this is a field where if you're smart, you can get in, you can hit big, and you can get out. And so what I've learned, a lot of these women are some of the smartest women that I've met. And also from these women, I've learned to be a cleaner, more hygienic woman. So again, these are some of the cleanest women that I've ever met. I kid you not. I learned so much, but yes, I hope that kind of eases some of the curiosity around that. Next one is questions regarding relationship and intimacy. So it wasn't a specific question, but that I can pull from specifically, but this was definitely in that field. There was a lot of questions regarding how is your relationship and intimacy life outside of work, and how do you balance like that personal and professional. And so for me personally, a relationship in my personal life and intimacy in my personal life wasn't something that I was really up to doing. Now there are some women who can or who are in the field who do have a significant other, and their significant other is usually okay with what they're doing, or they previously were in the field, so they're super supportive. You have people out there that can handle this type of work. But for the most part, a lot of people cannot for obvious reasons. So for me, I never even wanted to put anyone through that. I was already single when I got into the industry when I started working, so I just kept it that way. So it wasn't any balance that I had to keep. Although I can honestly say that it was very tough trying to differentiate work versus like, ooh, like this is a personal pleasure type of situation. Let me go on this date. Like I did notice that I found myself a lot more reserved and much more resistant to engage, let's say in social leisure dating, things like that. I definitely did find myself pull back from that a whole lot more. And I think a big part of it was feeling like I don't know how to explain this to someone else. I don't even know if I can how to wrap my mind around that part. So I exclusively just focused on what I needed to do and moving forward. I really hope that answers that question or clears things up. Um, the next question was, and this kind of ties into like what the relationship intimacy, and it was how did I cope with my personal life, intimate life. And again, basically, I just didn't really have one. I think it was just easiest to be that way and focus on work, accomplishing my goals, and then moving forward. So those were like three questions in one. Um, okay, so the fourth question, so two more questions. The fourth question was, what is a day in the life working at a brothel? So again, definitely get your book, The Birth to Treasure. It gets real, it gets deep. I talk about these things. I talk about an experience working at a brothel, escorting, all that stuff. It's all in here. Definitely get your copy. Super, super cool. You don't want to miss this out. But yes, so a day in the life. So I'll give you guys a little insider scoop. So have you ever seen like on late night X-rated TV shows like the Bunny House and X-rated Cat House series, like blah blah blah? Those things actually do exist. And so there are houses that in the state of Nevada, legally, you can work at these houses and make your money. And so literally a day in a life, you live there for, let's say, a specific amount of time. So let's say it's 3 weeks, it's or 3 weeks, or it's a month. You stay there, you sign a contract or whatever. And basically you are running your own business. So essentially your room space or whatever is your office, but you negotiate all your business deals, meaning your negotiations with your clients or customers, how much, what, blah blah blah, right? So day in a life is you wake up. Now, around the clock 24/7, that was the ordeal that I was in. I wasn't like working a specific shift, which just sounds really crazy. So it's basically like on call. So anytime a customer come in, before a customer comes in, you definitely want to, as soon as you get up, get ready, do your makeup, do your hair, get your pretty girl thing on, and then just be ready because around the clock you have customers coming in. So typical days, you wake up, you get ready, do your morning routine, maybe have some breakfast if you want to smoke a cigarette or a blunt, whatever. Do your hair, all that. Then the customers start coming in, and again, you have lineup houses and you have it's the word is escaping me, but it's in the book. We'll get back to it. But yes, the house that I was in was a lineup house. Is what you call a lineup house, and it's basically like when a customer comes in, and the girls line up, and the customer picks the person, and then boom, the girls leave, and then the guy talks to the girl of his choice, and that's usually how it goes. And then the girl and the customer, they speak about what the session will look like, and then they take it from there to pricing and things like that moving forward. And then if it's a successful agreement, then you go on to doing some checking the body, making sure that everything's clean and safe. I talk about that in the book. How do you make sure that someone's STD clean and free? Those are tips in the book. Definitely get at it. But yes, that's how it typically works. You set a time, you set what it is, how long, how much, right? And then you fulfill that session with the client. And once you're done, what I'm saying, you're already paid out. You get paid initially, and once you're done, that's it, you're gone. So honestly, that's typically how a typical day would go. Now, granted, every day is not the same, but that's a typical day. So yes, guys. And then scoop on like how to actually negotiate, how to actually get the money you want. Let's say if you want thousands of dollars, the difference between pulling $200 versus $2,000, how to negotiate, the difference between $500 and $5,000, how to get someone to give you that much. What do you say? What do you do? Tactics like that, girl. Let me tell you. Read the book. It's all in there. I'm super excited. Definitely get your copy. And this is not just for escorting. These are tips that will help you just in your regular life. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just for this specific, and male or female too. And then last question was, what are the downsides to escorting? And I talked briefly on this, or touched briefly on this in my last video on part one, but I wanted to just talk about it again. For me, again, the downside was I definitely was becoming much more desensitized to sex. It started to not feel good. I started to become numb. And why is that? And that's really because when you, at least for me, because I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, I had to really block out a lot of stuff when it came down to doing what needed to be done. And that took over, like that, having to switch to this business mode where I'm here, my body's here, but I had to learn to this separate myself, so to speak. And constantly doing that had made me so desensitized to sex that when I actually left the life and pursued love, interest, and intimacy in my personal life, that there was something off with me in the sexual department, where my brain just wasn't really responding to my body, because for so long I had just basically, separated myself for so long. I hope that makes sense, but definitely stay tuned for blogs, because I will be sharing more about it. And if you need more clarification, definitely drop the comment below. But yes, I would say for me, that was the downside, was being desensitized, feeling numb. Um, and that also trickled down to like my inexperience or inability to experience sexual pleasure in my personal life, as I just said. So I would say those are the three main things. But yes, guys, those are the teaser questions. Be sure to check out the Birth to Treasure. She is available on my website. Link is below. If you have any questions, even, not regarding this book, definitely I'm super interested. Email me if you want, guys. I will be back with another video. Until then, see you guys.